Powerpuff Girls, originally conceived as Whoopass Stew in 1992 for its 1998 debut, 1995 to 1996 pilot and What a Cartoon, would meet Fuzzy Lumpkins, and Crime 101, captivated audiences worldwide. Its vibrant characters and action-packed narratives became a staple of children's television. But what if there was an episode so unsettling, so deeply disturbing, that it was locked away, lost to time? Today, we delve into the chilling discovery of what some have dubbed Frightday the Hurting. The Powerpuff Girls universe, created by Craig McCracken, was known for its playful take on superhero tropes. They were sugar, spice, and everything nice, battling monsters and villains. The idea that something truly dark could exist within that framework is, frankly, disquieting. This episode in specific. This episode still continues to haunt me to this day. And let me tell you something. This episode right here almost ruined the entire Powerpuff Girls franchise.
This is where I speed up the time because I want to make sure I record at least a 15-minute episode.
I am a Powerpuff Girls fan. I loved it ever since I was little, and I love the girls themselves. I even have the plush toys of all three of them. However, one episode stays in my mind and it can't leave me alone. It was August 28, 2021, 5 days before my birthday. I was minding my own business watching Powerpuff Girls videos on YouTube. At that moment, my older sister came into the room. "Can I help you?" I asked. "I found this DVD and I thought you would like it, so here," she replied. Took a clear look at the DVD and it was a Powerpuff Girls DVD. It was titled as Powerpuff, which is a title for one of the episodes. I was interested in watching it, so I slammed it in my portable DVD player and the DVD menu came up. I pressed play all and I watched the following episodes. Middle dot Kim Deal Real, Middle dot Film Film, Middle dot All Chapter, Middle dot Straight World, Middle dot Animal North, Middle dot Pika Jojo, Middle dot Noggin Zero FF, Middle dot Keen on Keen, Middle dot Not So Awesome Blossom, Middle dot Paranoia, and a weird title, Frightday the Hurting. I didn't really understand the title, though it sounded familiar later on. The intro played normally, but the theme music played in reverse. When it showed the title card, the text was in red. Instead of the drum solo, there was ominous piano music playing, which made me feel queasy. The episode finally started.
The city of Townsville!
The narrator said cheerfully.
The home where the Powerpuff Girls inhabit!
Just then, it showed the Pokeok's kindergarten building. All of the children went out the door, as the girls were walking rather than flying.
Can't you believe it has been a busy day for us girls?
Blossom asked.
Yeah, we really got a lot of playtimes because we had tests to do.
Bubbles replied. Buttercup joined in the conversation.
Agreed, then we can help. I'm gonna practice for some tournaments.
Just then, Buttercup walked under a ladder.
Buttercup,
Blossom called out.
you just walked under a ladder. What's bad about that?
Buttercup asked in an annoyed tone.
If you break a mirror, fall under a ladder. This means you have 7 years of bad luck.
Blossom stated.
Bad luck!
Bubbles exclaimed in horror. Buttercup stared in confusion, but she later shrugged it off.
I'm doing it. Bad luck might even terrorize me.
Buttercup said, breaking the silence. The girls continued to walk home. As the girls got home, Buttercup went to find her soccer ball, but it was deflated. She then heard a faint even chuckle through her wardrobe. As Buttercup looked in her wardrobe, there was a mystical person in there.
What's going on?
I asked myself under my breath. She then went downstairs to make a meat sandwich, but when she looked in the fridge, there wasn't any ham left.
What is going on?
Buttercup asked in annoyance and confusion at the same time. Just then, that same awful chuckle came back. This time, Buttercup started to get seriously scared. At dinner time, Buttercup asked for salt and the professor passed it to her. As she went to pour salt over her dinner, the salt cap fell off, tipping the entire salt on her food.
Oh man!
Buttercup angrily yelled. Also noticed this.
Buttercup, I think you're starting to have bad luck.
What do you mean?
Buttercup angrily asked.
If you have bad luck, strange things will happen to you. Oh, wait, the person is not going on your rabbits too. Really?
Buttercup said in surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Replied Bubbles.
But let's stop right now. No, we want to it straight away.
Buttercup groaned glumly.
At least tomorrow will be better.
She stated.
All jokes aside for bed.
The professor said.
Professor!
All of the girls said. The girls got into their nightdresses and got into bed. At 11 p.m., Buttercup heard paper flapping. She opened her eyes and saw paper flying through the window. Buttercup walked up to the sheet of paper, and it read, "Come inside the subway tunnel. It will explain your bad luck. Anonymous." Buttercup felt worried reading it. She then went up to Blossom and Bubbles to wake them up.
Bubbles, Blossom, wake up.
Buttercup pleaded. Bubbles woke up.
What is it, Buttercup? We have to meet up at the subway. Let's go.
Bubbles complied and went to wake up Blossom.
Blossom, wake up. Buttercup's taking us to the subway. Why is she taking us to the subway?
Blossom asked, waking up. The girls then flew out of their windows and landed near a west subway tunnel.
So how did you take us here?
Blossom asked.
Paradise.
Buttercup responded, holding up the piece of paper she found earlier.
So we'll explain my bad luck.
Just then, the piece of paper glowed in a dark red color and there was an additional piece of writing. Buttercup read the paper again and it said,
We have a cure for your bad luck. What does it say?
Bubbles asked.
It says it's a cure for my bad luck. Let's get it.
Buttercup ordered. The girls then flew through the tunnel, and the tunnel looked very unnerving at nighttime. Bubbles whimpered. Blossom held her hand to try and reassure her. Buttercup growled quietly, wanting to fight already. Just then, a familiar silhouette appeared from the shadows. The girls then angrily glared at it and walked slowly towards it. The silhouette then finally got color, and it was no other than Mojo Jojo.
Mojo!
The girls said in unison. Mojo teasingly said.
Of course it's me. It is like Mojo Jojo, the most cunning villain you fight with.
Blossom then said.
All right, Mojo, what do you think to Buttercup? Yeah, he has been stopped with bad luck last night. Did you listen?
Bubbles asked.
You bad luck.
Mojo obliviously mocked before chuckling stupidly.
Yes, it was me.
Mojo replied. Buttercup gasped in horror.
You did this to me!
Buttercup suddenly shouted angrily.
Of course, little Miss Obvious.
Mojo replied.
Even with this for you, I built a simple ray gun with tentacle when the professor was away and built a tale from inspirations.
Buttercup got really pissed off. She flew into Mojo and beat the living shit out of him.
Don't you mess with the Powerpuff Girls, you monkey-faced!
Buttercup punctuated as she punched Mojo Jojo across the face side by side. Mojo then whacked Buttercup across the face and pointed another gun towards her.
It is done. I would have made of you to the powers once and for all. You might know you invented a pellet gun.
Blossom and Bubbles yelled. Buttercup tried to fly away, but it was too late. Mojo then shot his gun at Buttercup in the dark purple race around her, and Buttercup let out a realistic blood-curdling scream due to how strong the gun was. Blossom and Bubbles yelled. The scream was so realistic it sounded like her actress C.G. Daly was in agony or pain. Bubbles and Blossom cried out in horror. The ray disappeared and Buttercup fell to the ground. She then woke up and tried to attack Mojo again. She went to fly to him, but she only fell flat on the ground. Mojo sniggered.
I did my time. My child. Late.
What have you done to my sister?
Bubbles angrily yelled.
You are so that the gun will get it. If we will.
I'm seriously going to kick your monkey ass this time.
Blossom yelled. I was shocked at what Blossom said. What did Blossom just say? I said quietly. Blossom and Bubbles then flew towards Mojo, but he pointed the antidote X gun at them and shot them with it, too, to the ground, with many scars. Mojo quietly chuckled. He then held up a red hourglass-like machine.
It's time for the ultimate gun.
Mojo sinisterly said. Mojo pressed one of the buttons and the slime race around him and across. Just then, he and the girls transported into his lair. Mojo then ran even when his eyes were red. Buttercup was still awake, but Blossom and Bubbles were unconscious.
Yeah, Mojo has transported us to his lair.
Buttercup told her sisters. Bubbles and Blossom did so, and they realized they were in Mojo's lair.
What else did you want?
Mojo wept. His voice then sounded distorted and demonic. Blossom growled. He pressed another button on his red machine, and everything turned dark. Bubbles shrieked and held onto Blossom.
It's just dark.
Blossom reassured again. Buttercup looked around and heard faint women screams.
What is happening?
Buttercup passed him and said. Just then, she heard men screaming. This freaked out the girls.
Mojo, what are you doing?
Buttercup angrily ordered. Just then, the lights came back on. Boy, it was so heartbreaking. Mojo turned the lights back on, and it showed most of the Powerpuff Girls' friends and family on deceased. The blood was faint, but was still noticeable. The bodies were those of the professor, Mrs. Keene, the mayor, Mrs. Miller, and a single child. Blossom cried. Bubbles suddenly sobbed out loud. Her crying wasn't very cartoony. It sounded like her actress, Sarah Strong, was very depressed. Buttercup was in disbelief. She was close to crying. Buttercup moved. Her sad face grew into an angry glare.
Let's get it, girls!
The girls ran, as they can't fly due to being infected with the attacks. Mojo then pressed the button on his machine. A large trapdoor then opened on the girls, and the girls fell, screaming for their lives.
See you next fall, Powerpuff Girls.
Mojo called out. Mojo then laughed evilly and walked away. The girls were still falling when they realized they were falling near an ocean full of poison. The girls then fell in the poison and coughed loudly. As they continued coughing, their faces started to fade to release the blood and drain. Bubbles then retched on the poison, looking seriously sick. Her eyes were swollen and her cheeks were also swollen. Just then, the girls then dropped their entire bodies into the rest of the poison. Just then, the poison then drained into a sinkhole. It showed the shuttling three girls lying dead on the dry ground. There were brief scars, small drops of blood and rashes. Just then, Mojo's voice was heard.
For the very first time, the day's conquered. And so, Jojo.
Mojo proceeded to laugh maniacally, but was not seen. It then ended with a shot of the girls lying on the floor in a bird's eye view, as Mojo can be once again heard saying, Happy Friday the 13th. I was appalled. The episode's title was a play on the day Friday the 13th. Instead of the pulsating heart background, it showed a pulsating skull background, which would be used for the Razaroff boys in the episode Custody Battle. The narrator was even heard sounding depressed.
Oh, horrible. What did the girls have to know? So, the day's conquered.
Instead of the girls appearing, it showed Mojo Jojo, laughing crazily.
The
The narrator said, before crying loudly, his sobs sounded real. Yes, it had the classic narrator's voice, but the way he was crying sounded real. Just then, the credits rolled. Instead of the ending theme, I guess, the guitar solo of Leonard Skinner's Reaper played, but in a demonic effect. That gave me chills down my spine. It didn't show the Cartoon Network logo, but instead, it had a disclaimer. This episode was made with help from Matthew Thompson. This episode has aired on September 13th, 2002 for Friday the 13th. However, due to complaints from parents, this episode has been pulled and deleted due to the dark nature. Thank you for reading this. I was shocked. I opened up my portable DVD player and took the disc out. I had seen enough shit for today. I threw the DVD away a day later. That afternoon, I told my sister about the lost episode on DVD and I showed it to her. Fortunately, she believed me. That night, I didn't sleep for 13 days. 13 days later, the DVD was still in the trash. I couldn't leave it there. I pulled it out, a strange compulsion driving me to action. I had to tell someone important. Cartoon Network. Craig McCracken himself. I immediately contacted a higher up at the network, pleading my case. They were skeptical until I showed them a brief, disturbing portion of the footage. Their faces paled. They then brought in Craig McCracken himself. Craig was visibly concerned. At first, he didn't believe what we told him, until he watched the episode for himself. Boy, he was furious. And I mean, very furious. He demanded to speak to the animation team. The entire animation and storyboarding staff, including Matthew Domson, for all seasons of the Powerpuff Girls was interviewed. He demanded to know who made this. This isn't an episode. This is a violation. This is a desecration of my work, of my characters. I want to know who did this to my girls. Now, Craig roared. But not a single artist, director, or animator recognized the work. While the art style is a near-perfect mimicry, subtle differences in line weight and rigging suggest it was produced outside our established pipeline. When Craig confronted Matthew Domson, whose name was on the disclaimer, he vehemently denied any involvement. Matthew said that he had nothing to do with this. He didn't make it. He didn't even remember this episode. He was just confused and disturbed like all of us. Craig was very suspicious of him. Fortunately, he believed him. So, no one on the team recognized the footage. They were just as confused and disturbed as we were. No one knew who made it. No one knew how it got approved. And no one could trace it back to any department. The disc vanished not long after that. Misplaced? Stolen? Destroyed? No one knows. But I beg you, if you ever come across a DVD labeled The Powerpuff Girls, Howard Lee, that has the lost episode, Frightday the Hurting, do not watch it. I'm still in therapy because of what I saw. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Whatever are you going to bump into when you insert the newly discovered DVD?
Thank you for watching.